So, this is Massive Effect. Howdy, everyone. We make your website, that's this, look like this. Taking a look at a website right here, hairden.com.au. This is a hair salon down in Sydney, Australia. Australia, mate. Down under. And we're going to take a look at it. And I'm going to tell you what it's doing that's totally wrong. So you don't do the same thing. Don't want you to make the same mistake, because so many times when you're a small business owner and you're making your website, you're on Wix.com, or in this case, Weebly. This is Weebly. Do Control U, type in Weeb. This is Weebly.com. It's kind of like Wix, kind of like Squarespace, kind of like WordPress-ish. So, you get your account at Weebly or Squarespace or Wix or whatever, and you're making your website, and you're just kind of going with the flow, doing what you think looks good, right? Like, this font looks really cool. Nobody's doing that. It's distinct. It's different. Yeah, that's cool. And then, okay, maybe fine for the logo. But when we see that all the text, all the copy on this website is in this font, you and I know this is a huge mistake. Or may not know. They may think it is wicked AF, right? But in the end, it's actually costing them money. Let's go back and look for what this font is called. It's called Daniel. Okay. So never use Daniel, people, for the web copy. It's fine if you want it for your logo, and maybe even a heading, maybe. But the thing is, script fonts are really hard to read, and people need to be able to read the text. So you're basically making people not read anything on your website if you use a script font, a freestyle font, a freeform font for the web copy, right? No one's going to read all this. It's really hard to read. They would have to be very deep into the funnel, right? Deep down towards the bottom to be interested enough to inconvenience themselves to try to read this, because it's just going to use mental energy trying to read this. And the web user is not at all inclined to expend mental energy. They want things as easy as possible. No thinking involved, right? They want things very easy. So you can't give them stuff like this that's going to make it harder for them. So let's just take a peek around here. We've got the font here on this home page, the text and the headings. We'll look at some other things as we go through. This about page also, you can tell this has just been slapped together because these three elements don't flow. And this is a telltale sign that someone has built a website in Wix or WordPress or Weebly or whatever. They're like, well, okay, here's the pictures, here's the photo, here's the text. I want another picture, we'll put it here. And I want another picture, put it there. And it just doesn't flow. It just feels, what? It feels like when you make a Microsoft Word doc and you're trying to make, I don't know, like a presentation or something. You don't know what you're doing. You're just putting elements on the page. It really doesn't go well. So that's another reason, if you're making your own website, you're a small business owner, you're on Weebly, have someone review it after you make a page, because this looks really unprofessional. You shouldn't do that. We have price list. Let's take a peek over here. Again, the text is unreadable. We have various services. This is really hard to read. It's like, I don't even want to try. My God. Let's keep going. Anyway, so these pages, as far as content, all they need is the font changed. And then in order to sell better, they need a picture for each service, right? Let's actually talk about what's going on these pages. You're showing your services, right? You're talking about balayage, I don't know, toning, all these different things, hair treatments, curling, men only. They've got all these different services, and there's no image to go along with it. It's not going to sell very well because people need the mass. People need the mass. And if you don't have photos of your services, it's not going to sell as well. So let's get photos added to all the services. And back at the About page, let's take a peek, go back. I don't know if these are actual people who have hairstyling magic, but you do best on your About page to put a photo of the owner or the staff and then caption it. If you just throw some models up there, it's not really serving you. It just looks like another website with pictures that aren't yours. You want to have your pictures, right? It's going to build a lot more trust in that human element. If I land on the I want to see who you are, and I want to see your history, some old photos, a little gallery or something, and I want to see captions of what the company is, not just, this. And that'll go a very long way in building trust and rapport. That's huge, all right? Trust is everything these days. Moving on to the promotions page. Again, we've got the girls, and this is nice. This is nicely done. But this was probably not made by them. It was made by this cosmetic company. But this is some nice presentation of data and images. And again, this text is not readable. And these photos just feel like they're thrown in. There's no flow. Let's check out the blog. Moving along. Testimonials. Great. So we got a bunch of testimonials. Again, it's in the unreadable font, but it's great that they're putting the date. The date is super important. The prospect actually wants to see testimonials written within the last 30 days, believe it or not, and this is 5 years ago. So it's going to not be working for you to have all these testimonials from 5 years ago. People want to see them, what's going on right now at the shop, right? And here we have 2017 is the most recent, right? 4 years. So when you're doing your testimonials page, make sure that you're putting them and putting the recent ones every month, every 30 days, a fresh testimonial. That way you're going to optimize it. You're going to get as much bang for your buck. So make sure you do that. The blog over here, it's kind of messy, but I'm glad they have a blog. That's great. Let's try to open one of these entries. So they would do well for their SEO to put actual content and not just the photos. The photos are great, but you got to have some content on there. Otherwise, Google is going to dismiss this page. Here's another page from a few weeks ago. And we've got a nice photo and then nothing else. So it's good that they're posting, but there's just nothing, there's no substance. You need to have 500 words per page. Otherwise, Google is going to dismiss you, right? Here's another page. This was almost a year ago. Let's check it. And just a photo. So this really isn't how you should blog it. You need to create text with each one of these. So you might say, well, how are they going to do that? This person came and they got their hair did. How are we going to write 500 words about that? Well, you'd be surprised. Either you hire someone to do it for you, pay a few bucks, or whoever did this job, like the stylist who went and spent, I don't know, 3 hours doing this client's hair, you pay them as your staff to take half an hour and just type up the whole process, what you did from start to finish, every, in increments of 15 minutes or whatever, and then get a testimonial at the end. And then also in the beginning, just an overall description of what the client wanted. And you might be able to squeeze 300 words out of that. And you're basically using the production of your company, your Div 4, your delivery, as content for the website. So not only do you have the photos, but you have some documentation is what I'm trying to say. Do some documentation. It was 3 hours, have your, compensate the stylist to do a little bit of writing for you. It's not going to kill them. Just bang it out on a laptop. That would be a very intelligent approach. And then you're going to have a lot of content that has all the keywords related to the hair stuff, right? And really help you in Google. So that's a great strategy. It's free. It doesn't require thinking. It's just documenting, but it does require discipline. All right. So that's how you would really work a blog for a small service-based business. And we see they've been blogging it up since 2015, so we've got 6 years. Not super steady, only 2 posts last year. But every time a post is done, it would be really smart to get that text written, because Google is just going to look at this blog and think worthless, right? All it is photos and then titles. It needs substance. You got to have 500 words per page, so that's a good strategy. You should take it and run with it. Doesn't matter if you're a hair salon or, I don't know, landscaping, plumbing, bookkeeping, personal trainer, fitness, whatever, service-based, small business, you can use that exact same strategy that I just went over. So take it and run with it, people. Moving on to the contact page, pretty decent, except for the font, of course. The font is a site-wide situation. Coming back to the home page. So we kind of did a once over. We didn't discuss anything really about the home page. I didn't do like a home page audit that I normally do. I mean, there's nothing on this home page, so it's basically empty. We have an about section and a photo in the footer. So it's basically missing everything. There's nothing to audit on this home page because there's nothing here. You know, a great example that I always like to show is Life with Paint. It's another one I can show. Our website's a great example as well. Putting statistics is really important. We don't see any of that on the homepage, but I'm not going to get into that in today's video because we always do that. But so coming back to the main issue, when you're doing your website, you should, before publishing it and going live and thinking you've got a wicked website and everything's good to go ahead and find a friend who's a professional and get them to take a look at it. Because what you think looks great might not be great for your sales. It might actually be costing. This is a perfect example of something that looks great in your mind, but it's actually preventing you from getting sales. So always reach out to a professional. We are professionals over here at Massive Effect, and you can actually just send us a message. We can help you out for free. If you're making a website right now, let's say you're on Weebly or you're on Wix or Squarespace or WordPress or whoever, you're building your site and you're whipping it together and you're not sure, you're like, yeah, I think this is cool. Well, let us help you. I'll do a little video. I'll take a look at your design. I'll tell you what's good and bad because you need professional judgment. If you're making a website and you're not a web designer, you're literally walking through a swamp with a blindfold. You don't know what you're doing. And you could be making, you know, egregious mistakes. You don't want that. You want your website to sell, to get that, to get emails or phone calls, right? Form submissions. You want it to actually work for you. It's not just something pretty that you think looks good. So come on down, put it in the comments, put your website in, we'll take a look, and we'll do it for free, no worries. Of course, this is us, Massive Effect. Come on down, massiveeffectmarketing.com. Send us a message also if you want. And if you do end up hiring us, which you could, we don't take everybody, but if you do, we have a great arrangement with a nonprofit rescue team. So if you get a marketing package with us, we train a first responder. Isn't that dope? So you can help us turn victims into rescuers so we can save some lives together. Isn't that wicked? So we're doing something about it. Come on down, massiveeffectmarketing.com. In the meantime, go ahead, put your website in the comments. I want to take a look. I want to guide you. You don't have any idea what you're doing. It's okay. I know. I'm going to help you. We'll do a video and show you. All right. All right. So until then, thank you very much and take care.